Okay, Emirates First Class on their A380s might not be the newest first class out there, or debatably the best, but you can't tell me it's not the most iconic one. I had just arrived from a previous flight to Dubai and would have a 7-hour layover here before flying over to Shanghai Pudong International Airport. Since it was such a relatively short period and it was nighttime and given my access to Emirates First Class Lounge, I opted to stay at the airport and get some rest instead of venturing out into the city. After going through a quick security check, I made my way to the lounge through the crowds of people. I mean, this is a lot of people for an airport at midnight. After a quick elevator ride, there was the Emirates flagship first class lounge. It was massive, like the most massivest lounge in the world. It was more than 100,000 square feet, covered the entire Concourse A, and was open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. An attendant scanned my boarding pass and welcomed me in. Let's take a quick walk around the lounge. Well, I say quick, it was anything but. I think I hit my monthly steps quota in the lounge, not that it's a very high bar, but anyway. There was a dedicated duty-free shop just for first-class passengers. There were also flight information boards, maps, and poster signs everywhere in case anyone get lost in this gigantic lounge. There was a business center with cubicles, computers, printers, and even small conference rooms. The walls were also sound dampened to minimize distractions. There was a luxury wine shop where a sommelier could help you and guide you to select your perfect bottle of wine. And there was one of the dining areas. It has a wide spread of buffet options such as simple pastries, a variety of hot food options, and some cold dishes such as salads and some canapes. Since I was flying near Christmas time, there were some Christmas desserts and decorations, which was a pretty nice touch. There were also some excellent bottles of Moet from their Moet at Shandong champagne bar in their business class lounge, and of course a full bar to make almost any cocktails or mocktails. There were more cold food options like salads and sashimi, and even more hot food options. However, I wasn't really interested in the hot buffet items, but in their a la carte menu, which you can easily find online if you were interested. However, before sitting down for a nice fancy dinner, I did want a good hot shower. There were multiple shower suites in the lounge, each having their own sink, toilet, shower, of course, as well as toiletries and towel. Pretty good. After a quick shower and all freshened up, I went back to the dining area and the hostess showed me to my table. First, I ordered a foie gras terrine. It came with toasted brioche and fruit preserves. I was fully aware of the significant ethical concerns surrounding its consumption, but I must admit, the foie gras was nothing short of extraordinary. It was rich, creamy, smooth and nutty and buttery. It was amazing. But do you know what isn't amazing? Animal cruelty. So yeah, I did feel pretty bad eating it, but it was so good. Anyway, now that I'm officially on PETA's hit list, it was time for my next dish, pan-seared Hokkaido scallops. It came with yuzu sauce, salted porcini and shimeji mushrooms, and black truffle shavings. It was far more ethical and sustainable than foie gras, but not any less tasty. The scallops were sweet and briny, incredibly juicy and succulent. I usually do not order scallops because they are extremely easy to screw up, but I chose to trust the Emirates First Class Lounge kitchen and was not disappointed. Alright, for my main course, Wagyu beef tenderloin with mashed potatoes and green peppercorn sauce with roasted baby corn. The steak was, of course, cooked to perfection. Amazing sear on the outside and was beautifully pink throughout without any gray bands around the edge. It was extremely tender and soft. The peppercorn sauce was beautiful. Mopping it out with the steak was so good. It was lush and creamy and with a bit of a kick from the peppercorns. After inhaling the delicious meal and feeling the fatigue catching up with me, I believed it was time for a quick sleep. There were dedicated sleeping areas with lounge chairs dotted around the lounge, and it was really quiet. There was some dampening materials covering the wall and lots of partitioning walls that provided adequate privacy and some light blocking. There were some lounge chairs provided as well as blankets, and there was a more central room with more armchair-like chairs. It felt like a labyrinth there with all the walls, but I found my way back to the door, grabbed a bottle of water, and made my way back to an empty lounge chair for a quick nap. After a decent sleep, I woke up and got ready to have breakfast in the lounge. I could have had breakfast on board, but A, I was saving my appetite on board for something else, which you will see in a bit, and B, food made in first class lounge on the ground probably would taste better than that on the plane. With that, I washed up, sat down, and ordered a full English breakfast with 2 over easy eggs, grilled tomatoes and mushrooms, veal bacon, sausage, roasted potatoes, and of course baked beans. I also ordered a block orange smash, which kind of messed up my taste buds a little bit since I just brushed my teeth, but it was really good. As for the English breakfast, it was alright. I mean, the ceiling for an English breakfast really isn't that high. But it was still an amazing experience to be well rested and have a full stomach after a red-eye layover. After checking the flight info board, I realized that my flight was boarding from Concourse C. I was a bit disappointed that it was not Concourse A, otherwise I would have been able to board directly from the lounge. But it's no matter. So off to Concourse C I went, which was like a 30-minute walk from where I was. Luckily, being first class, the prospect of a 30-minute walk to my gate was a big no-no. After a brief train ride to Concourse C and taking the beautiful instrument of an elevator, I was promptly ushered onto a buggy and whisked through the airport straight to the gate. By the way, Emirates has both first and business class lounge in all the concourses, but since I had a lot of time and didn't know which concourse my plane would be at then, I chose to stay at Concourse A since it was the biggest one.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Song.
Yes.
Enjoy the flight.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, due to the design of my gate in Concourse C, I couldn't capture a good video of the plane at the gate. However, and fortunately, DXB has these beautiful glass jet bridges that offer amazing views of this impressive feat of engineering that I was boarding. Just as I sat down in my seat, the first class pampering started. I was still so shocked by the suite that I completely forgot that Emirates served Dom Perignon on board. Emirates is the exclusive airline authorized to serve Dom Perignon champagne in the skies, while others can only serve Krug. I know, big sad for them. The Dom of course tasted amazing. It was super crisp, fresh and fruity, but I don't know if I liked it better than the Krug. Although I had almost forgotten how the Krug tastes, so I probably should fly Singapore Airlines first class again. Maybe their first class suites to, refresh my memory. Video coming up soon. Anyway, I was also offered fresh Arabic coffee and dates, which I had never had before. And ooh, it was kind of spicy. Why is it spicy? I'm sure it was amazing, but unfortunately my taste buds could not fully appreciate it. But the date was really good though, so I did buy a few boxes to give out as gifts. And of course, being first class, I got a lot of attention from the flight crew. After chatting with a first class attendant for a bit, I was also offered a steaming hot towel to help freshen up. After finally settling down and getting my camera set up, it was time to take a quick tour of the suite. Okay, there really was no need to tell you there was a ridiculous amount of legroom. Over there, I had a small compartment with a noise-cancelling headset, slippers, and some in-flight magazine. Inside the tiny drawer, I found a small Emirates branded notebook. It was a perfect travel-size notebook. Beside that was also an Emirates branded ballpoint pen, and together they make a really good souvenir. There was also a provider eye mask and an entire basket of snacks. We'll take a closer look at that later on. Above those items, there was a reading light. I wasn't too sure of its usefulness since it was pretty far from the seats. Oh, maybe it was meant to shine a light on something special, like that absolutely amazing glass of 2013 vintage Dom Perignon. Here I had a small vanity mirror with these makeup lights as well as some skincare products. The in-flight entertainment monitor was massive, like it was 27 inches and was a touchscreen, which was ridiculous considering the distance from the seat. I decided to just display the flight information for now and find something else to watch later after takeoff. Here was another lamp, and under that a universal charging port. And over here were 2 more USB-A charging ports. On the side console was probably the coolest thing on the plane. A motorized personal minibar. Like, what? There was a bottle of water, white chocolate hazelnut, spicy water, a glass, another spicy water, regular water, and salted peanut. Wait, corn? Okay, apparently it was salted roasted corn, which tasted really good. This button here deployed an entire slab of tray table. It was super large and really heavy. It was made of the same wood veneer as the rest of the cabin, with a gold trim running around the top to prevent things from falling off. Here was some controls for the light, the flight attendant call button, as well as controls for the electronic window shades. For most other first class suites on the Emirates A380, you would get at least 3 windows, but since I was in the front row, I only had 2. Over here, I had another IFE screen. It was actually a 9-inch tablet that could be removed and used as a second screen or as the remote for the main screen. I didn't use it that much throughout the flight since the main screen was more than good enough. I just had it constantly display the flight information and flight map, which was pretty cool and good to know. Here I had a little compartment for personal stuff, which was currently full of my camera gear. At first I thought I was able to see into the suite behind me, but no. It was just a mirror with a pretty handsome guy waving hi, if I do say so myself, and to whom you definitely should subscribe. The seat itself was huge. It was a giant leather armchair that was incredibly comfy. The headrest could be slightly adjusted to better support my head. It was not the newest seat like that on the retrofitted Emirates A380s or their game-changer 777s, but it was more than luxurious enough for me. Here I had a giant gold-plated individual air vent that offered much more airflow than those regular cow udder like air vents you find on regular seats. And beside that was an adjustable individual reading light. On the end of the armrest, I had some controls for the seats. This button brought the chair closer to the dining table, this closed the suite doors, this turned the seat into a bed, and this returned it to takeoff and landing positions. Over on the other armrest, I had the IFE controller that also came with a small display, so in total there were 3 independent screens. I kinda want to put Subway Surfers gameplay and Family Guy clips on the 2 secondary screens so I can focus on the main display. Yup, gotta satisfy that dopamine ADHD attention grabby multitasking sensory overload crave, you know. Anyway, not gonna lie, I was still in shock and could hardly believe that I was sitting there on the top deck at the very front of the A380 in one of the world's most iconic first class suites. It was a complete dream come true for me, but I bet this dream will get even better once we took off.
Please ask your cabin crew for assistance. Thank you.
Now flying through the air with Wes Anderson's Asteroid City playing on our main screen, let's dig through the provided snack basket to find a good movie snack. I had a tube of vitamin C effervescent tablets that also help with hydration, some dark chocolates, a pack of mints, a bottle of almond dragees, which was sugar chocolate covered almonds, a packet of Walkabout mix, I guess it's trail mix, a small can that looked a lot like hair gel of salt and caramel chocolate covered licorice, a bottle of Thai spicy mixed crackers, and finally some veggie chips. Overall, pretty decent of selection of snacks and more than enough to satisfy me for the entire flight. Now for the actual amenity bag. It was a Bulgari branded leather travel bag and contained 2 sets of amenities. For the cheaper but more practical set, there was a set of toothbrush and toothpaste, shaving foam and razor, a pack of tissues, deodorant, and a plastic comb. As for the more elegant but slightly less practical set that was all Bulgari branded, there was a clean towel, aftershave balm, body lotion, and cologne, which I really like, as well as a lip balm. The amenity bag itself was pretty big and also had the Emirates logo on the inside, but like most amenity bags I get on premium flights, they all get turned into camera bags. I mean, look at that, it even has little pouches for spare batteries. Perfect. All in all, this might have been the most comprehensive set of amenities I have received on a flight, ever. They also gave me an Emirates branded grey fabric tote bag, which was a slight flex when I brought it to the beach as a beach bag, but it was meant as a place to keep my clothes when I changed into the provider Hydra Active Moisturizing Pajamas, which I don't really know what that means or how it works, but it was really comfy. It had this little lapel collar things around the neck, which was pretty unique, and the best part, it has pockets, unlike the pajamas I got from Singapore Airlines First Class. Since I'm here, let's take a look around the bathroom. There was a screen that cycled through different information boards. There was a magical hairdryer that you can only see if you have liked this video. Yeah, that's what I thought. Go press the like button, buddy. Under here, there were some feminine hygiene products, as well as 2 rolls of toilet paper in case shit got out of control. Here, there was a coat hanger, a mirror, a decorative flower, as well as a panoramic picture of the Dubai skyline. Under that was some body wash, shampoo, and conditioner for when I want to take a shower. Yes, there was a shower on board, and some other amenities. We'll take a closer look at that later. Hidden under this bench was the toilet. There were some bottles of eau de toilette and hand lotions, and on the tray was a pyramid of hand-rolled towels. Pretty fancy. There was a big mirror with a ring of lights, and a small mirror that made my face look big. There were wall sockets, as well as flight attendant call button, some cups to rinse my mouth, and here was a sink that I felt was way too big to be on a plane. And finally, here was the onboard shower that I will use later on before I land. Not gonna lie, I think I'd rather spend time here in the first class bathroom than in some of the economy seats I've sat on past long haul flights, but I'ma head back to my first class suite. While I was gone, a flight attendant came and turned my seat into a bed, and it looked extremely comfy. There was loads of legroom and was really wide, although it was not as wide as the bed on Singapore Airlines 777 First Class, but it still offered great view of the TV, and with the suite doors closed, it was a very nice place to be. Or, in my own words, absolutely amazing. I know I did just wake up from sleeping in the first class lounge a few hours ago, but I was still very tired from the past few days of traveling. But to sleep or not to sleep, that was the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to enjoy the comfort and rejuvenation of luxurious bedding, or to take arms against a sea of jet lag and by resisting, fully embrace the first class experience. To sleep, to waste. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take a nap. After a quick hour of napping, I woke up and opened the shades to let some sunlight in, and immediately regretted it when the translucent shade opened and seared my retinas. After blindly and pathetically wrestling with the electronic shades for a few seconds, I was wide awake and ready to enjoy all that Emirates First Class has to offer. Firstly, I ordered a drink to help me really wake up. I cannot remember what it was, just that it looked a bit radioactive, but was really good. While still in bed, I started to organize and back up some of my previous travel footage. Being able to do that while watching Wes Anderson while having this view outside my Emirates First Class suite window was something I don't take for granted. I truly believe I neither deserve nor earned this experience. Well, I didn't earn the $5,970 needed to buy the plane ticket in cash, but I did earn the 118,500 miles needed to redeem it. All of it came from my American Express account, where I transferred 119,000 membership reward points into Skyward miles and paid about $438 in taxes and fees to book the flight. For those of you in the credit card points and miles game, I am getting an effective 4.67 cents per point, which I will gladly accept. For those of you not in the points and miles game but would like to learn step by step on how I turned everyday spending into an amazing travel experience, drop a plane emoji in the comment section below, and if there's enough interest, I will start making videos or shorts on how to get started. However, as usual, please be responsible with finances, never carry a balance on your credit card, and never spend more than you should. But other than that, I'm going to order some food. Emirates offered what is called Dine on Demand for the first class passengers, where I could order whatever I want from the menu whenever I wanted. And looking through the menu on board, I did have a lot in mind that I wanted. Although Islam is the official religion of the United Arab Emirates, which is where Emirates is based, this was probably the most haram thing I've read. I mean, Emirates spent $500 million on their wine list, which does reflect that, and have literal bars on board. Yes, plural bars. Everyone knows the one at the back of the plane for business and first class passengers, but there was also a smaller one at the front with top shelf liquor that was reserved for first class passengers only. I'm sure those were amazing bottles of liquor that made some of you drool, but I unfortunately could not fully appreciate all that they had to offer. I did, however, order a glass of red to go with my main course, but before that, first came an amuse-bouche. Not going to lie, I had no idea what that was, just that it was a very small portion and tasted pretty good. But the really good thing was coming: caviar. It came with onion, chives, egg whites and egg yolks that had commitment issues and were thus separated, lemon, creme fraiche, and melba toast and blinis. And of course, double portion caviar. Yup, that was like 4 or 5 ounces of caviar. The caviar by itself was beautiful. It was salty, full of umami, and kind of buttery. Absolutely amazing. I could not stop smiling after having a first taste of it. And following that with a sip of Dom Perignon, perfect pairing of saltiness and freshness. However, having just straight caviar was a bit too much for me. I do like putting some condiments onto a little pancake and enjoying a big spoonful of caviar with it to get some heterogeneity in it. Adam Ragusa would be proud. I finished that double portion within minutes, and trust me, I would have licked the plate clean if it were not for my ego and fear of judgment. Up next, traditional Arabic meze. At first, I had no idea what those dips and spreads were, and I really appreciated the flight attendant's patience in introducing each one. Not that I remember what they were now, but I do remember they all tasted amazing. Eating that made me somewhat regretful that I didn't have time to explore the Emirates and experience its culture and cuisine, but it was high on my list to travel to. For my main course, I ordered a steak tenderloin. It came with asparagus, mushrooms, potatoes, and leeks, and a beautiful tarragon mustard jus. The steak was tender, soft, and juicy. I mean, I was given a dull butter knife, for safety of course, and I had no trouble cutting into it. It was still bright pink on the inside. I'm kind of impressed how they managed to achieve that with a microwave in the airplane galley. The steak was so good, the cow did not die in vain. But seriously, it was amazing. Pairing it with a glass of red, so good. If you want to know what wine that was, it was the one with the most vowels in its name, so I didn't sound like a complete idiot when ordering. But yeah, it was a glass of 2008 Chateau Léovy Bardon. If I had to complain, the steak did have too much beefy flavor for a tenderloin cut, which made me suspect that Emirates might have added some extra flavoring to offset the diminished sense of taste from flying so high in the sky. But nonetheless, it was still an absolutely amazing meal overall. In fact, I was so full that I could not finish the amazing potatoes, and I unfortunately had to skip dessert too. But what I definitely will not be skipping was the most iconic thing on an Emirates A380 First Class: showering in the sky. I was provided with bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, as well as soap and essentially any toiletries I would need. The shower itself was, and this is not in any way a complaint, pretty small. There was a handle and a seat, and here were the controls for the shower to adjust the temperature. That gauge showed how much time I had of running water. Each first class passenger was entitled to 5 minutes of running water, but I was told I could extend it a few times if I wanted. The shower head itself was pretty basic. It did have a pretty good water pressure though. Now that my GoPro had to go at a shower, it was my turn. After a quick shower, I got dressed back into my regular clothes. It was such a surreal experience. I used to think that showering on a plane was such a gimmick, like I'm sure people can wait a few hours after they land to wash up. But man, showering at 40,000 feet just hits different. I have never felt so refreshed and energized from a long-haul flight. Also, you guys can see the magic hairdryer now, right? Right. Exiting the bathroom, the first class bar was transformed into a waterfall display with candles and a pot of ginger green tea. And returning to my seat, a flight attendant came and offered me some Geneva chocolates. Seeing that I was spoiled with choices, she suggested that I get one of each, and I happily obliged. Even after settling down, sipping the hot green tea and enjoying the refreshments, I still couldn't believe I had the chance to experience the Emirates First Class shower. Soon, and all too soon, the brightly lit downtown Shanghai came into view. And just like a pessimistic jerk once said, all good things must come to an end. With the seatbelt sign illuminated and our descent to Shanghai Pudong International Airport starting, I have a lot to pack. Well, I say pack. It's basically me taking everything from my suite that is not physically bolted to the plane itself. The snacks from the snack basket? Check. The Emirates notebook and pen? Check. The cosmetic from the vanity mirror? Also check. And with that, we were on short final and at the end of my Emirates First Class experience. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy travels.